You want a preview of the Spurs Blazers series? We got it for you coming up next. Happy Friday. Welcome back to Spurs in Focus right here on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Seriously, just pick a platform. We are there. Go find Spurs in Focus. Look, it's even on YouTube Music. I know, crazy, right? But you can even find it there. Go subscribe, completely free, as well as the Substack, Spurs in Substack, completely free. As a matter of fact, our guests, yes, plural, are picking up the bill for everybody who hits the subscribe button. Yeah, you click that subscribe button on Spurs in Focus Substack, it's going to go to their bank account. So go take advantage of that right now. As always, we thank y'all for making Spurs in Focus your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. Don't go anywhere else. You want to come right here to Spurs in Focus. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, longtime Spurs writer based in San Antonio. What are we talking about today? You probably heard I said guests, multiple guests. Yeah, we're having a roundtable preview. Yes, we're going to cover it all. Who is the key for the Spurs, that X factor? What can the Blazers do to get the upset? Is it even possible? What do the odds makers have to say about the Spurs winning or losing in this series? We're going to cover it all Friday, the couple of days before the big game this Sunday in San Antonio when Portland comes in, and hopefully they don't ruin the party. Hopefully they don't ruin Fiesta, right? Yeah, you don't want that to happen, all right? Let's get it going, guys. We got a big show for you guys today. Let's go to bring in our first guest, familiar face here at Spurs in Focus, Mr. Rudy Campos of the Sports Answer. And he's rocking the Pat Riley look today. Look at that slick back hair, everything.
I mean, that's the way I comb my hair. I'm old, man. I'm in my what, almost 50 years. I'm like 47, 48, somewhere around there. So yeah, I got to look the Pat Riley look, dude. But you mentioned Fiesta. Does anybody even Fiesta anymore? Because I haven't Fiesta since I was 20 something, dude.
Man, a couple of years ago when I moved back from New York City to San Antonio, my first Fiesta here, I felt like it wasn't the same like back in the day, like back in the 80s and the 90s. Like something changed. It got a little more calmer, which is good, I guess, but bad as well.
How did it get calmer? I mean, you can't walk. You can't rock.
Wasn't there a shooting in Market Square?
That's like every year there's a shooting in Market Square. So yeah, something did change. You got to go loaded, locked and loaded. You got to have a bulletproof vest. You got to have everything, man. So if I Fiesta, it's going to be from 10 a.m. to noon, and that's it. I'm going home after that.
The day. By the way, I saw you getting cooked on X the other day because you're.
No, and you know what? I love it. I mean, I've got all the.
He's really getting riled up already.
I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. But what people don't understand is that if you're going to cook me, I love that you cook me. I love all the points that people are making, but at the same time, you got to come with better facts. I mean, just calling me idiot. This guy's an idiot. This guy's an idiot. Rudy's an idiot. Rudy's an idiot. I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot. I don't know. I've been called fat. I've been called everything else. And you know what? I'm still here, so I don't care.
You want to follow him on X at The Sports Answer to go see what everybody's talking about with Rudy's take on the 65 game rule NBA awards thing. Yeah, he definitely touched a nerve with some Spurs fans or just NBA fans. Go check it out.
No Spurs fans. It was all Laker fans. And
it's right, Lakers, right? It was all Lakers fans. Yeah, so I guess good job for getting that side of the street riled up there, Rudy. Good job. He's with The Sports Answer, and we're not done with guests, everybody. No. We look who's back for a Friday episode. We might as well get him a permanent seat here every Friday at Spurs in Focus. Mr. James Espinosa with the Sports Rush out in Corpus Christi. Man, James, what is it, 3 weeks in a row, buddy? You did it.
It is. This is the third consecutive Friday show, I believe. But hey, it's good to be on. Jeff, Rudy, good to finally get a chance to speak with you.
Yes.
Looking forward to some exciting Spurs talk here as we're about to get into the first playoff series in 7 years, 8 years. What is it now? Or what was it? 2019?
6 years.
Yeah.
So let's go, man. I'm ready to break down this Spurs Blazers series.
Oh, yeah. You want to follow him on X at Sir Edward James. Again, 1440 Keys AM out in Corpus, host of the Sunday Sports Rush, 9 to 11. James and Rudy, they're going to brag about what they got cooking as well outside of Spurs in Focus in just a few minutes. So, gentlemen, let's get it going here. So, Spurs, Blazers, game 1 this Sunday evening, as if NBA can't make the Spurs fans wait that much longer. At the Frost, I mean, you could feel the atmosphere in San Antonio as well as probably in Corpus as well. It's a fever pitch right now. Everybody's excited. The way we go, guys, and I think heading into this series, we know Wemby's going to Wemby. Yay, oh no, he dropped 40 points. Okay, big shocker there. But there's got to be other guys that got to step up. I want to start with you, Rudy. Who do you have as your X factor going into this series?
To be honest, Jeff, I really did have Wemby as an X factor only because he hasn't played against Portland this season. I mean, this will be the first time the Blazers get a look at Wemby. So I kind of had him as an X factor, but that kind of was an easy one for me. I actually went down the line, and I'm going to go with De'Aaron Fox, the guy that gets a lot of hate from a lot of Spurs fans because, you pay him $60 million a year. He's our max guy. He doesn't show up. Well, he does a lot more than just score points. If he's only getting like 8 points a game in this series, as long as he's dishing for 10, 11 assists, getting a few rebounds, he makes a difference. And that's the thing that I want to see with him. He's going to be my X factor. Why? Because when you compare Portland's guards, Drew Holiday, defensive specialist, but also, he's also an NBA champion as well. So outside of Drew Holiday, De'Aaron Fox should have a field day in the backcourt against Portland. He's my X factor. I expect him to be a big key for San Antonio, make everybody's life a lot easier, especially Wemby in their first playoff run. Give me De'Aaron Fox as my X factor.
I thought you were going to say James Espinosa as the X factor in this series. Apparently not.
James can't be an X factor. I mean, he's already the MVP. He's already everything else. So, I mean,
he's an A through Z factor for the Spurs.
You guys are too kind, man.
James, who do you got? Who do you got to see step up in this game one?
I do like where Rudy went with De'Aaron Fox. And you know what, man? I have been one of those guys who's criticized Fox. I criticized Fox when it came down to that Denver game a week and a half ago, Easter weekend. I just thought there was a few moments in that game where he made a couple of mistakes, and I don't think it's unfair to criticize him in moments like that. But I do like where Rudy went with De'Aaron Fox. If he can be near double-digit assists, and we've seen him get hot. He's one of the more clutch players in the NBA in the fourth quarter. And there might be a time where you're going to need Fox to knock down a bucket or two in the last 5 minutes in clutch time, right? So I like where you went there, Rudy. I'm actually going to go with another player, and he's someone who I've just enjoyed watching this season, who, in my opinion, looks a little bit more alive than years past. I'm going to go with Devin Vassell as an X factor in this one, because when Devin is making his mid-range shots, when Devin's out there at 3, the offense seems to be rolling just a tad bit more. I think Devin, the way he's been shooting this season at about 38% from three-point land, if he can get hot from 3 range, if he can be consistent in that mid-range and just be a dude out there, someone who's going to be able to get you a bucket when times might be tough against this Trailblazer team who comes in and they play some pretty good defense, man. It's a young, physical Trailblazer team. They're going to want to try to rough up the Spurs, so to speak, make things a little bit ugly. If Vassell, can get going on that front, it's going to make things a lot easier. So Devin Vassell is going to be my X factor this series.
Going back to De'Aaron Fox there, he has averaged 21.7 points per game, 6 assists per game, and 4.5 rebounds in his career versus the Blazers. So he definitely loves playing against that red, black, and white jersey, as the numbers show. You guys, you picked my top 2 candidates right off my list. I had Fox number 1. I had Vassell number 2. But number 3, I'm going to go with Steph Castle. Steph Castle. I think he's going to have to really be that explosive player we've seen throughout the entire season, that gritty, that dog on the court. Why? Why do I say that? Because that Blazers team, they got length. They got really good perimeter defenders from Matisse Thybulle, Holiday. It was I think I pronounced it Camera. I think that's the guy's name. Throwing shade and sharp as well. They got length. They got athleticism. They got quickness. If Castle can just break down that perimeter defense, get those guys in foul trouble, make them work, I think he is crucial for them, because if he's making them work, guys, that frees up, some spacing, that gravity that he can create, kick it out, pass it up to Wemby, Harper's open, Barnes is open. I got Castle as my X factor. And just overall, too, guys, I want to get your thoughts on this. Going back to we mentioned 2 of the guards, Fox and Castle. Let's throw in Harper now. why do I feel like this is going to be a good test for that trio of guards, Rudy, against that perimeter defense of Portland?
Holiday, Kamara, Matisse Thybulle, Shaden Sharp, all very good quality defenders. Do not forget about Jeremy Grant as well. I mean, this team can definitely defend. So this trio of guards is going to be they're going to be in for a dogfight. Yes, they're going to have good games, but it's going to be a rough taking for all three guys. One guy that I did fail to mention, and this might even elaborate a little bit more on an X factor. If you want those three guys to be capable of putting up the numbers they're used to, it's going to come down to one guy in particular. Devin Vassell, yes, of what James said, but look at a guy like Julian Champagny. He's going to be wide open all series. Why? Because you're going to have to double team. You're going to have to double team Victor. You're going to have De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle get to the lane. The defense is going to collapse. Julian should be opening. If he is knocking down at the rate of playoff Jaren Jackson and playoff Patty Mills, then the Blazers are going to be in for a long series. Put it that way. It's just going to be blowout after blowout. Julian Champagny is going to be a huge X factor. He's going to open up the floor for everybody else. But yeah, I mean, this trio of guards, let's put it this way. This is probably one of the best defensive teams at the guard position that the Spurs have faced all season.
Yeah, you know, and I look at that as kind of like my key for a Spurs series win is just how they handle that perimeter defense. That's, again, go back to what I said. That's length, athleticism, youth. You know, Matisse Thybulle, known for defense. You know, Holiday, enough said. You know, that's one of his biggest keys throughout his career. Jeremy Grant, big guy, but he's mobile. You know, they definitely present some issues for the Spurs trio of guards. James, where do you land on this? Do you think that guard v defensive guards that the Blazers have, is that kind of like, I guess, for just for other words, the biggest key in this series?
I would say, you know, y'all guys made fantastic points right there, and the guard play is going to be crucial when it comes to who's going to end up winning this series, right? But one of the things that I was kind of looking at as I was prepping for this show, I'm looking outside of the guards. I'm kind of looking at the way Portland is able to create second chance offense, the way they're able to grab offensive rebounds. They're one of the better teams in grabbing offensive rebounds and giving themselves extra possessions per game, which in turn, you know, you grab an offensive rebound, defense is out of position. They're out of their leverage. Portland can find shooters open like that when they grab those secondary rebounds and we're able to reset their offense. So I'm looking more as how can the Spurs win in the paint both ways? We know they have Wemby, right? And of course, Wemby is the force multiplier of all force multipliers. We know the Spurs are going to be good on that front, but if the Blazers can bang around and get a little bit physical with Wemby and even Cornette down there, and they can grab some of those offensive rebounds and get second chance opportunities, that can really get their offense jump started. I think that's really one of the, I don't want to say the only way, but to me, that's going to be a significant factor. If the Blazers were to even have a chance this series, they're going to have to win somehow in the paint and be physical.
James, you hit it on the head. This past season, the Blazers were first in the NBA in second chance points at 18.5 per game. Number one. So they definitely punish you, or they take advantage of those second chance opportunities mentioned, and they definitely score. Number one in the NBA. You mentioned about the rebound. They were second in the NBA in offensive rebounding at 14.1. I probably had a lot to do with that with the clinging in the middle.
Yeah.
And nevertheless, you know, they definitely present some issues on that side of the court, the defensive side. I bring that up because when it came to rebounding in general, there were six in the NBA. You know, they definitely pose an issue. What about blocks? Believe it or not, the Blazers were seventh in the NBA at 5.5 per game. Rudy, are we ignoring Wemby Clingan here, or that's not even an issue because Wemby is just in a different class than Donovan?
I mean, you're talking about Donovan Clingan and Victor Wembanyama. Victor's MVP candidate. Donovan Clingan is just a good big man. I mean, they're two different categories, but it's going to be tough regardless. Remember what I was telling you, the last Spurs in Focus. What I think Tiago Splitter, you know, he's a great basketball mind. What the best thing for him to do is to bring Wemby out of the paint. And that way you can have Clingan, who is capable of knocking down a three-pointer. You put him out on the perimeter, then that takes Wemby away from the basket. So you're able to get your guards, your trio of guards as you have. They can get to the basket and make it tough for the Spurs. I mean, get some people in foul trouble. But we're not downplaying, the Klingon Wemby matchup. We obviously know Wemby's going to dominate against Donovan Klingon, but also they've got another big body that they can throw at him in Robert Williams. So Portland is a very well balanced team when it comes to the front court and back court. Are they going to give the Spurs trouble? Yes. Is it going to be a problem for the Spurs to win the series? No. It's still a lot of inexperience when it comes to Portland, but it's going to be a battle. I think I see a lot of Spurs fans just saying, "Oh, this is 4-game sweep," or it's just going to be a quick series. Yeah, it may be quick, but it's going to be very, very physical. As mentioned before, this is the perfect team for the Spurs to play in their first round of the playoffs to get them ready for a long playoff push.
Couldn't think of a better way to transition to our next topic. Basically, are the Spurs in for a fight? James, buy or sell that the Spurs, they're going to have a scrap versus the Blazers?
This is a tough one, right? Because what Rudy was just saying, how tons of Spurs fans are sweep, and this is going to be easy. I'm going to buy that this will be a scrap, that this is going to be tougher than anticipated. I'm not buying that the Blazers are going to win the series. No, that's not going to. I'm not saying that. Yeah. I am saying that the Spurs going into their first playoff series, going against what we just mentioned, a very physical Portland team, I think it's going to be a little bit harder than people anticipate. Spurs, in my opinion, of course, they're the better team, but I just don't want them to go in and overlook what Portland could possibly present. There's a scenario here where Portland might steal game one. You never know. Crazier things have happened in the playoffs, right? But I am going to buy a tough series. So I will buy, quote unquote, a fight for the Spurs, being it their first playoff series together as this core. I think there's going to be a little bit of maybe a rough spot or two, but they're going to come through in the end. I just think it's going to be harder than what's anticipated.
Yeah, you look at the regular season, James and Rudy, 3 games, 2 games to 1. Spurs got the regular season check mark on that, but they were close-ish, 10-point wins for the Spurs, 12. Again, everybody knows by now Wemby didn't play in any of those games, so that's a huge difference maker right now that Portland never had to deal with. They're going to deal with it in just a couple of days. There's even one game where Wemby and Castle did not play, and Denny went for triple-double, I believe, in that game. Mm-hmm. So keep this in mind, everybody. We're asking the question, buy or sell, are the Spurs in for a scrap? If the regular season is any type of indication, maybe. It looks like it's going to shape up that way. Rudy, you've been on that side of the fence saying, no, yeah, Portland's going to bring it. But there's some Spurs fans saying because I don't know if you saw it, but in the Spurs in Focus YouTube page, they left some comments saying that, Rudy, you're giving Blazers too much credit in that department, in the physicality. Are you or are you not, Rudy? Are you just giving them too much credit?
Well, we're looking at X today. I'm an idiot, so I guess I'll give you the idiot answer. No, I mean, you've got to understand is that I'm giving Portland credit. I'm giving them respect. We're talking about the Portland Trailblazers. We're not talking about the Utah Jazz. We're not talking about the Washington Wizards. We're not talking about those teams like that, teams that are no chance to make the playoffs. We're talking about a Portland Trailblazer team who is, again, a well-balanced basketball team. They can play on both sides of the ball. They focus a lot more on the defensive side of the ball, as well as crashing the boards. If you go back, Spurs have had issues when their losses against teams that are physical and that crash the boards. I mean, those are the 2 things that have beaten the San Antonio Spurs this year. So again, I'm not saying that Portland's going to come in and win the series, but I'll tell you what, this is that team that where you come into the first round, you may get a 10-point victory, you may get a 7-point victory, you may get a 12-point victory, but I guarantee you it's going to be close for majority of the game, and that's exactly what you want San Antonio to have. So, yes, I am definitely buying. I'm betting the house. If I have to give my firstborn, I'm giving my firstborn. This is going to be a fight when it comes to Portland, San Antonio. I'm definitely buying it.
Yeah, I think they're going to be close games. Yeah. Now, I do give the Spurs credit. They did improve in their physicality department throughout the season. That did get better. I don't know, but James and Rudy, y'all probably saw this every time they lost. What did Mitch Johnson say? Oh, we didn't bring the physicality. Oh, they were more physical. Oh, we were out physical. That line of talk kind of waned and kind of evaporated throughout the season. They did get better. But as Rudy and James are mentioning, yeah, this still isn't a physical team. They're going to be physical with Wemby. They're going to get up in those guards. that the Spurs have, and so much more. Fortunately, the Spurs do have big boys if it gets down and dirty. Keldon, I mean, hell, I throw in Plumlee out there. Plumlee, go knock some bodies around, do something.
Be an enforcer, right?
Be an enforcer, yeah. So if they want to get their hands dirty, they can get their hands dirty. We're talking with Mr. James Espinosa of the Sports Rush out in Corpus Christi and Rudy Campos of the Sports Answer right here on a special edition of Spurs in Focus roundtable discussion previewing Spurs Blazers Game 1 and, of course, the entire series. Now, one more topic before we take a quick break here, guys. Denny Advia. This guy's good. He's good. Like you mentioned, he cooked the Spurs in one game for a triple-double during the regular season. We saw what he did in the play-in game. He just took over that game to help the Blazers advance to face San Antonio. Buy or sell, Rudy, Denny is going to be a big problem for the Spurs.
Buy. I mean, he averaged 31.6 points per game against the Spurs. I mean, he's just not only cooks the Spurs, he cooks the league. I mean, this is another guy that can be at that Nikola Jokic type of mentality and type of game where he can get a triple-double at will. And that's the thing is I think if he was surrounded with better players, around him, I think this Portland team is definitely a playoff team with Denny Avia running the point the way that he does for them. So he's going to be a problem. And I know one comment I do remember was that, they haven't played against Wemby this year and Denny's not going to have a great game because now Wemby's involved. And well, I mean, remember, Denny doesn't always get to the basket. He does have a jump shot. He can knock down a three-point shot. But when he does get to the basket, he's very crafty around the rim. Spurs will collapse on him. He knows how to make that pass. He knows how to find the open man. So, yes, he's going to be a problem. Does he average 31 points a game in the playoffs? No, absolutely not. I think I pegged him at around 24, 25 points a game. So, yes, he's going to be a problem, but it's not going to be a big enough problem to where the Spurs have to worry about them losing the series.
Yeah, James, I'll get you in a few seconds here. I just want a quick reaction to what Rudy said. That was my biggest thing with Denny, that he'd put up those numbers versus San Antonio without Wemby on that court. Wemby's a human eraser. That's where Denny gets most of his points because he's a big dude and he'll just bulldoze his way in the paint. He ain't going to be able to do that with number one there waiting for him in that length and, leading the lead in blocks. So good luck, Denny, if you're going to go that route. The only thing I can think of is if he just uses that to body Wemby and maybe get him into foul trouble. But no, I'm with you, Rudy. I don't think he's going to average what he averaged versus the Spurs in the regular season. I think it comes down a notch. I wouldn't say maybe he's going to be a problem. I think he's just going to be more of a headache. Just a headache for this team. James, what do you stand on Denny? Do you think he's going to cook or nah? Ain't not a problem.
I think he's gonna do some work, man. I think he's gonna be the great basketball player that he is. And like Rudy said, the 31 points per game against the Spurs in the regular season, that's nothing to shake a stick at, right? And Wemby will be back, so bump that down a few, right? Theoretically, but in my opinion, ballers are gonna ball, and I think he's gonna get his. He's gonna get this team some extra possessions. He's gonna, be in those transition offensive moments, those second chance points. I think he will bang down low with Wemby. And with Wemby coming off of the injury later on in the season, he got banged up in the ribs a little bit. I can see this Portland team attacking Wemby on that front. And I can see Denny trying to go at Wemby, trying to use some of those crafty big man skills that he has to just be a pest and be a problem and let Wemby know, hey, I'm here. We're here. We're going to do our best to try to disrupt what you want to do. So I can see him doing that. Now, will he win the series? Probably not. But can he absolutely swing a game in favor of Portland? He can definitely do that. So, yeah, I do see Denny being a problem that the Spurs are going to have to deal with.
Yeah, and what I like, another reason, let me rephrase. Another reason why I don't think he's going to cook as he did in the regular season, and yes, Wemby is a big reason why for me, but another reason why is the Spurs have multiple defenders they can throw at him. It's not just Wemby there waiting for the paint. Steph Castle, I can see him checking Denny. Don't discount Julian Champagny. He's not all-star level, but he's a solid defender. There's that. You want to throw.
This is a Carter Bryant.
Carter Bryant. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Take it away. Why do you think Carter could be an issue for Denny in this series?
So you don't need Carter Bryant to be all-world defender. You don't need him to be all NBA defense. But what you need to do is you need to have him be the pesky guy that he has been in a lot of these games, especially lately where he's picked it up a notch. Playoff series against a team like Portland, what you want to do is you want to kind of make it difficult for Denny Avia. And it doesn't even have to be for 10 minutes, just the 5-6 minutes here or there. You get Carter Bryant in the game, pick him up full court, just kind of shadow him. What we used to do back in, St. Gregory basketball days was the boxing one.
St. Gregory basketball, everybody.
Yeah, we have one guy, boxing one, you have one guy just guarding your best player. And that's something what I would think the Spurs would do with a guy like Carter Bryant. Just shadow Denny, make it tough for him. If you have to pick him up, you full into the court, just do it. But this is the type of game where Carter Bryant could definitely be used on. Use those 6 fouls if you have to. It doesn't matter. You're going to come back the next game. But yeah, Carter Bryant's one guy to kind of keep an eye on here when it comes to this series.
James, I don't know if you heard this, but the NBA did give the Spurs an exception so they can submit their playoff roster, and they got Rudy on the top of the list for the enforcer.
Let's go.
Look at that, man.
Yeah,
Rudy, man. Good luck, man.
I'm ready for my 15th consecutive playoff appearance in the NBA.
15th. He said 15th, James.
There we go.
Executive.
Yeah. First one was San Antonio. Apparently, I just came below the Tim Duncan and David Robinson era. I wasn't good enough for those teams, but I'm definitely good enough to be on this team, so I will be there Sunday.
Yeah, overall, is Denny going to be a problem? Yes, of course. He's an all-star for a reason, all right? You saw what he did in a pressure game, a play-in situation. He raised the level. So you can't tell me he ain't going to raise his level again. But again, the Spurs do have one of the best defenses in the NBA. They're top 3 or top 5 defensive rated teams in the NBA. So they're going to bring that noise back to him. They got multiple defenders. They got Wemby, obviously. As much as Denny might be a headache for the Spurs defense might be a headache for Denny. Again, we're talking with James Espinosa of the Sports Rush on the Corpus Christi Radio. There we go. That's a mouthful right there. Again, 1440 Keys AM, 9 to 11. You want to go check it out. He'll brag about that in a bit. Of course, the man in the middle, you see him, Mr. Rudy Campos of the Sports Answer. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're not done whatsoever. What does Vegas have to say about the Spurs? Good odds, bad odds? What kind of surprises will be in store, such as, would it be 6 games, 7 games, a sweep on either side? Let's do that in just a few seconds. All right, we're back right here on Spurs in Focus, Roundtable Special Edition, joined by the man in the middle, Rudy Campos of the Sports Answer. He's on X at the Sports Answer. See, he makes it so easy for you guys. Just says the Sports Answer, and then follow him on X there. He'll brag about what he has cooking on his neck of the woods. And the other guy you see on your screen, that is Mr. James Espinosa. Consecutive appearances here on a Friday at Spurs in Focus. Follow him on X at Sir Edward James. He's at 1440 Keys AM out of Corpus. Host of the Sunday Sports Rush. He'll brag about that and so much more in just a few minutes, including how he's ready to roll up his sleeves and take on all the Rudy Campos haters because of a simple tweet that Rudy did.
I'll be on that wall with you, Rudy. I'll be on that wall.
Thank you. We will all die on that wall.
Go see the firestorm that Rudy created on X right now at the Sports Answer. We're talking about Spurs Blazers looking ahead at game 1 and also just overall in the series of this roundtable edition of Spurs in Focus. All right, so odds makers, we like to see what the odds are, futures and the odds of Wemby getting MVP and Keldon getting the 6th Man of the Year award. But what about this series? Well, according to Bet Online, was it Bet MGM? There we go. Spurs have a whopping minus 2,000 guys to take care of business and advance to the Western semis. James, to start with you, buy or sell that, man? Will you take that bet?
Would I take the actual bet, like the minus 2,000 bet?
Yeah.
Look, yeah, I mean, I'm going to bet that they're going to win this series. I think those odds are incredible, right? The minus 2,000, I mean,
giving the Portland no chance in hell.
That's pretty much a 95%, probability, so to speak, right? I would take the bet that the Spurs are going to win the series. So yes, the minus 2,000, it sounds ridiculous, right? Put down the 2,000 to win 100, whatever it is, right? Yeah, I mean, I would put it down if I had an extra $2,000 to spare. I do think the Spurs are going to win the series. So I think the odds are pretty right. I do think the Spurs are going to win handily, man, when it comes to the end, but we'll get to more of that later. I would buy that.
Yeah. Rudy, you've been you're not against the Spurs. Let's make it very clear. He's not against the Spurs in this series. He's just cautioning everybody that it may not be easier than it looks. Rudy, this is right up your alley here because this kind of goes against these odds, what you've been saying about this Portland Spurs series.
I mean, yeah, the odds are right. They're perfect odds. I mean, the Spurs are going to win the series. To me, it's perfect. If you're going to bet it, you're going to bet it. You're going to put $2,000, like James said, to win $100. I mean, if you've got that kind of money, do what you want to do with it. Me personally, I can find a million other things to do with $2,000 and put it on the Spurs, knowing that they're going to win the series. When I say it's going to be a win for San Antonio, but it's going to be tough, it doesn't mean that the Spurs are going to, blow the series and they're going to lose and Portland's going to win and all this stuff. No. What I'm saying is that it's a great physical series. It's going to be a great series for the Spurs to come out, showcase what they can do. They're going to get the physicality of playoff basketball from a team that is not as superior as them, as I feel the Portland Trailblazer fans starting to shoot all these arrows at me by saying that. No. It's just going to be it's going to be a Spurs victory. I mean, we'll get into, like I said, James said, we'll get into predictions here in a little bit as far as how many games and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you're putting the money down. If you're a Spurs fan, you're going to get that money. You're going to win the money back. It's not a big deal. So to me, it's great odds. But again, it's going to be a good series. And you know what? If they blow out the Blazers and sweep them, by all means, great. Sure. Come after me on X. I'll see you on the next series. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Rudy, behind that TV on James's screen right there, there's $2,000 right there that he's going to
no. It's not 2,000. Are you talking about what's over my shoulder right here?
Yeah.
I mean, I do have a little bit of a
Hey, look at those adult beverages there, Rudy.
A little bit of a collection. It's not $2,000 worth.
You told me that I had to get rid of my adult beverages, and now James has his. This is
when the first time James came on. It's one of the things where I didn't realize that it was behind him until like midway through his first appearance here.
My bad.
And then I think during like halfway through, he had moved a bit, and I looked at it. I said it on during the recording. I was like, "Oh, James, I see what's behind you."
Yeah, they made an appearance, man. I didn't expect that to be called out, but hey, it's cool. It's all good. But
it's all right. Hey, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with an adult having a little quick adult beverage.
A connoisseur, so to speak.
A connoisseur,
of bourbon.
As Rudy breaks out his liquor and starts drinking on this episode right now. See, he has it ready to go. Hey, what's in that cup, Rudy? Hey, look at that. He took a big swig.
I'm not going to say it's an adult beverage, but I will say that it has some type of adult contents, put it that way.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Apple juice, everybody.
I'm not at the radio station. I'm at home doing this. So unless I'm at the radio station, I can't do it there, but I can definitely do it here.
All right. So we just talked about the odds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just incredibly in favor of the Spurs. I mean, Vegas is saying, no doubt, good luck putting money on them winning. You ain't going to get back. But let's talk about just getting surprised overall. So, some people are saying sweep. Some say a gentleman's sweep, 5 games. They're really not giving the Blazers that much credit. Now, Rudy, will you be more surprised if this series is a sweep by the Spurs or the Blazers push to 6 or 7 games?
Be more surprised if it got to 7 games. I'd be kind of surprised if it got to 6. Anything below that, I'd be, perfectly fine with. I don't think it goes beyond 5, in my opinion. So if they take it to 7 games, I legitimately would be worried against the Blazers if they get to 7 games. 6 games, I would say, like James has brought up great points, man. You don't know what you're going to get from this Portland team. And Denny's good for maybe 1 game. And then you also have other games where, hey, we've seen the Spurs not knock down their shots in some games too, so it has come back to bite them in the butt. I see all the De'Aaron Fox slander. I see all the Steph Castle slander. They're not knocking down their shots. It has happened before this season. Do I expect it to happen in the playoffs? Maybe 1 game. So I think it'd be more shocking if it goes 6 or 7 games. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up sweeping the Blazers, but for me, I'm at that 5-game mark. So yeah, the more shocking for me, the biggest surprise would be 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, I want to bring this up. I don't need the guys here on your screen there. A picture of him just a little longer here, guys. Just want to give you this quick note about him. So, according to Pivot Fade, Denny Advia versus the top 5 defenses in this past season in the NBA. And according to them, the top 5 defenses were OKC, Detroit, Spurs, Boston, and Toronto. All right. Would you be surprised, or maybe you're not be surprised, if that guy you see on your screen averaged 26 points per game, 8.6 rebounds, 8.3 assists in 36 minutes in 11 games played against the NBA's top 5 defenses, according to Pivot Fade.
Triple-double.
You surprised by that, James?
To be quite frank, no. I mean, he's quality. He like I mentioned earlier, right? Guys who ball are going to get their shots. Guys who ball are going to make their buckets, right? And the 31 points that he did score against the Spurs without Wemby, the 26 that he did average
right there, James, right? That's a huge asterisk on those numbers.
Yeah, without Wemby for sure. But as I said earlier in the show, bump that down a little bit, and I still think he's going to get his. The 24, 25 to 26 range, I can see him definitely putting up a few games like that here in this series with Wemby on the court. It's not going to be the 31. He's not going to run wild the way he did without Wembanyama there, but I could definitely see the 24 to 26 range of him consistently getting buckets. Now, I'm not surprised by that at all. It just proves the quality of the player and why some of us here are a little bit reserved when we say, oh, the Spurs are just going to come out and automatically whoop them and sweep them. This, as we've been alluding to and saying, this is going to be a lot tougher, in my opinion, than what we expect. And if this does get to a 7 game, if it were to go 7 games against the Portland Trailblazers, then something has went terribly wrong for the Spurs. Yes. In my opinion, I'll be more surprised if it went 6 or 7. So I'm right there with Rudy. More surprised if it went 6 or 7 games, because Portland, when you look at some of the finer points of what they do, they're bottom 10 in a half court defense. The Spurs are elite in that front. Portland, they depend on the paint scoring. You got Wemby, right? We've talked about that at length. Portland depends on the second chance points. A lot of factors have to go right for Portland to even extend it past 6 or get to 6 to get to 7. If Portland can't score inside, or they can't get those extra shots off those extra possessions, I don't think they have a plan B to beat the Spurs. So a lot of things have to go right for them. I would be totally shocked if it went 6 games or even 7 games.
I'm with you guys. If it goes 6 or 7, I'm shocked. I actually have this series going 5. I think the Spurs kind of get hit with the bright lights on the road. You're going against in a road game out in Portland. I think they'll drop 1 in Portland. I think they take the first 2 in San Antonio. They lose 1 of those in Portland. And another reason why I'm going with 5, guys, is because what have we been saying this whole episode? We're saying Denny this and Denny that, and he can score and this is that. But that's it for them. That's it. Who else can they go to for a reliable scorer? Grant just got back. He's just got back. He was out for a long time. I don't see the depth that Portland has to counter San Antonio's. I don't. Am I missing something here? I mean, I think it feels like it's Denny or nothing for them. For the Spurs, it's Wemby. Okay, well, we got Castle. All right, well, we got Fox. All right, well, Fox is having an off game. Don't worry, Harper off the bench. He can give us something on that court. Okay, well, we could go Keldon Johnson, 6th man of the year. And you mentioned Sharp, but to me, Sharp is so streaky, man. He is just so streaky. You don't know what you get. We haven't even mentioned his name in this whole episode. Scoot Henderson.
Yeah,
he's been playing better, but he's not living up to that number 2. He's the next big guard for the Spurs. I'm sorry, for the NBA and this and that. So for me, I just see it's almost Denny or nothing for Portland, and for the Spurs, it's Wemby or Castle or Fox or Keldon or Harper. I mean, they just got so many weapons. Rudy, you kind of pushed back a little bit. You said Sharp. Am I not seeing something that you're probably seeing?
I never push back on you too much, but I am right now because I am seeing a lot more than what you're seeing. I know it's just Denny, and you have a bunch of other guys around him. I mentioned Sharp, but what you're not seeing is something James talked about earlier, something that I hit on as well, is that you don't have to have 2nd, 3rd, 4th guys when you're basically one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the league, man. Because what happens when you get second chance opportunities? You have guys wide open from beyond the arc. They have guys that are super capable of knocking down that 3 ball. Jeremy Grant, Shaedon Sharp. Kamara can actually knock it down as well. Thibault can knock it down.
Yeah.
Holiday, you saw he was shooting against Phoenix. The reason why this team beat Phoenix was not only because of Denny taking over the game, it was because on those second chance points, they had guys wide open on the corner. They had guys wide open in front of the rim, from beyond the arc as well. They were knocking down their shots. So you don't have to have a second guy to be, that guy next to Denny Avia. You just have to have guys that are going to be able to knock down quality shots. And that's going to be the biggest factor for San Antonio is they've got to rebound the ball, man. Mm-hmm. They've got to rebound because if Portland gets all these second opportunities, they're going to start knocking down their shots. And once they get hot, go ask Devin Booker what happens when they get hot. They are very tough to beat.
Yeah, exactly. The Spurs came to rebounding, defensive rebounding. They were actually first in the NBA. And when it's all said and done at 35.6. Get this, look how it plummets though. So remember how we mentioned that offensive rebounding side, Portland was like one of the best in the NBA. Spurs were middle of the pack, 14, with 11.4 offensive rebounds per game. So that's definitely a key there. But also for me too, I like the way the Spurs take care of the ball.
Yes.
They were just ridiculous. And it didn't get highlighted enough how minimal turnovers they had, especially to close the season. Look at the numbers here. To finish the regular season, they were fourth in turnover percentage at 13.5. So not too shabby, not too shabby. So, we've been, Vegas has been saying the Spurs, a lopsided series win, they're going to advance. James, Rudy, we're saying, yeah, Spurs should take care of this in 4 or 5 games. But let's put our Portland Trailblazers hat for 1 second here and ask ourselves, what is one thing that Portland could do to get the upsets? Start with you, Rudy. What do you think? You think Portland got what it takes to shock the world?
Yeah, I mean, they actually can if Jack Ramsey was coaching, Bill Walton came back.
He's the Jack Ramsey, James.
Clyde Drexler was their shooting guard. Or you know what? Give me the Portland Trailblazers that they had with Rashid and all those guys. That team could definitely upset the Spurs. They're really if I have to give one thing Portland can do to pull off the upset, it's just physicality. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. If they play bully ball and they're able to get away with it and they just become that scrappy team that Portland can be and get those second opportunities, to me, that is the only chance that they have to win this series, because if you just body and bruise a team, eventually you wear them down. That's the only way I can see that. But golly, man, I don't know why you put that graphic up there. You're still in danger, man. You're still in danger. I'm gonna get blamed. I'm gonna get blamed for the graphic being put up, and not even my show. No, it's just the physicality. If Portland gets physical, the refs allow it, and the Spurs can't handle it, then it's going to be a long series for San Antonio. That's really the only way I give Portland an opportunity.
What about you, James?
They have to take care of the basketball. I mean, they're one of the worst teams when it comes to turning the ball over in the NBA.
They gift wrap them.
Yeah, if not the worst. And the Spurs, of course, they take those turnovers and they turn them into transition points, and you start seeing the beautiful game with all the passing and the Wemby spectacular dunks and lobs and everything. Take care of the ball. I'm going to keep harping. I'm going to just kind of piggyback on what Rudy just said. They're going to have to out physical San Antonio. They're just going to have to beat up the Spurs on the interior, soften Wemby up, and just work and maybe induce Wemby into foul trouble, maybe get Cornette into foul trouble, take away some of that depth that they have down low, and just hope they can hit their shots, man. This is it's a tall order for them to win 4 games against what this current San Antonio team is. Defensively, for the Spurs, we know they are one of the best in the absolute league in a variety of categories. For the Trailblazer offense, they're 21st in points per 100 possessions. They're 23rd in fast break points. They are just not that great of a team when it comes to taking advantage of the opportunities that they do have. It's going to be very tough for them, man. It's going to be tough. They're going to have to be physical and take care of the ball.
James, did you know the beautiful game was named after Rudy Campos?
What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Pop was out scouting, trying to figure out how am I going to defeat this Miami team? They got LeBron, they got Bosh, they got Wade, man. They beat us last year. And then he went to the Y and he saw Rudy just passing that ball, passing to cutters. Rudy, we thank you for bringing the beautiful game to the Spurs. We appreciate you.
You guys are very welcome. I take full credit for the beautiful game that I was able to show Gregory Popovich and the rest of the coaching staff.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was funny because him and I were sharing some, wine. We had some dinner. We got some wine. I got a little wasted that night. And I just said, hey, if you move the ball 14 times in one possession, you're going to win the series. You're going to win the title. And guess what? It happened.
It's all true, everybody. It's all true. There's no video, but it just take it from us. It's true.
Like you call me Batman. I mean, you don't ever see me and Batman in the same place in one time.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, I want to flip it though real fast. So we're going to end on a Blazers note here. What do the Spurs got to do to get the series win? For me, it's just play how you've been playing throughout the entire season. I mean, I don't see anything different they can do. Why try to fix something that's not broken? The defense was top notch. The offense was top notch. Wemby was playing at MVP level. Castle was coming on. Harper really came on towards the end of the season. I think just continue those vibes from game 82 of the regular season into game 1 on Sunday. That's it for me. I mean, the only other thing I have to give is don't give this scrappy young team life. So, for example, what I mean by that, James, is like, okay, let's just say the Spurs are up 15 points at halftime, and then, look at that. And we're going to the third, and it's tied. That kind of scenario would scare me. But outside of that, James, I think the Spurs just got a spur as they've been doing this season, James.
Don't fix what's not broken, right? Let the big man cook, work the offense through him. Let those guards distribute, just play the style that they've been known to play all season long. And, the thing, right, you don't want to give Portland any hope, right? You want to get these 2 wins at home to go back to Portland up 2-0. You split one of these. If you lose one of these games and you split going back to Portland, and you have to go back to a tough game 3 up there in the Moda Center, the old Rose Garden, as they used to call it.
Yep.
That could be a tough, tricky situation. So just take care of your business, play the basketball you have been playing, and rely on the things you've been doing right. Mitch and that coaching staff have put this team in a great position all season long. Those third quarters can be a little tricky sometimes, man. How many times have we seen a third quarter lead evaporate and all of a sudden we have a pretty tight ball game going into the fourth? So one thing I would like to see in this series is established leads late in the second half, late in the third, take them into the fourth, and then just suffocate your opponent in that fourth quarter. I don't really want to see the Trailblazers climb back into a game if they're down. I want to see this Spurs team have a killer mentality, start to develop a killer mentality in the playoffs. So I think this could be the perfect opportunity for that.
Rudy, I've heard the same thing too. Just don't give Portland any life.
Yeah, don't give them any life. I mean, you've only lost 2 games the entire season, back-to-back games. You've never lost more than 2 the entire series. So that's why I said you're not going to give. Portland's not going to be able to win 3 games, in this series. It just doesn't really see it. San Antonio's been one of the best defensive teams. You've got an MVP candidate. You got a Coach of the Year candidate, 6 Man of the Year candidate. I mean, you've got possibly 2 All-NBA players with Castle and Wemby because some of the guys aren't eligible anymore. So Castle may get a third-team nod possibly in there somewhere. So, I mean, you've got everything going for you the entire season. There's no reason why you're going to let up against Portland. Pedal to the metal. Just keep it rolling. And it's funny because I'm looking at the schedule. Game 4 is on a Sunday afternoon at 2:30. If the NBA knows everything, the Spurs kind of suck on Sunday afternoons around 2:30 or so. So if there might be a game, it might be that one. It's in Portland that they might sneak away game 4. But other than that, I mean, it's just Spurs got a spur, man. Don't do anything different. I don't want them to get cute. I don't want them to try something different. Yes. Just do what you've done all season long. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. I also, too, I noticed after James did his take on, when the Spurs got a spur, he took a big swig from his cup there. I don't know. He's like, oh, my God, I hope this comes true.
Yeah, had to hydrate, man. I do hope it comes true. I'd sound I'd sound pretty foolish if the Spurs were to end up losing to the Blazers in this series somehow, but I think we're going to be safe on that front.
Yeah, exactly. We had on our rundown predictions next, but I think we already gave them already. You know, we got Spurs in 4 and 5 games for the series.
I'm going to go 5. Officially Spurs in 5.
I'm going 5 too. You got 5. All right, guys.
I'll get
we've been talking this. Yeah, exactly. Hey, guys, we've been talking this whole time, but we got to hear from you. What's your take on game 1, the overall series? Who is your key player? What do the Spurs got to do? You taking those odds, everything we talked about on this episode, make sure to let us know. You start off with James on X at Sir Edward James, Rudy on X at The Sports Answer, myself at Jeff G Spurs Zone. And don't forget to subscribe to Spurs and Focus on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. What else you got? YouTube Music. Yeah, I can't believe I found that. Can you believe if you have a podcast, YouTube Music will host it for you? Yeah, I discovered that. What is it? Pocket Cast. Seriously, we have it all covered. As I mentioned in the intro, James and Rudy, they're buying subscriptions to Spurs in Focus. I'm being serious. You click that subscribe, which is free for you guys, but the bill goes in their PayPal accounts. So
I've already bought 1,500. I don't know
how. You already bought 1,500.
I mean,
look at that. James, how are you doing, man? Your funds depleting?
Yeah, but it's all for Spurs in Focus, so it's fine.
We cannot end an episode without a nerd segment. All right, let's get nerdy, guys. So, Rudy, every time you're on the show, we get to these segments. We kind of, pick a little bit of everything. We react to, to movies, and we did a nerd thing, trying to compare this series to a nerd thing. I went with One Punch Man. You went with the Brotherhood of Mutants and X-Men and everything. So, Rudy and I, we get nerdy, kind of scatters everywhere. But with James, though, and I want to introduce this to Rudy because I find this fascinating. James, he is a nerd, but in a different realm. A realm that kind of looks bad on me when it comes to books. I'm like, oh, books? What is that? Is it a comic? I can read a comic. But
what is
James
book?
Has been educating everybody about science fiction books that he recommends, and is right up this alley of kind of nerdy things. James, take it away. Tell us what you got cooking when it comes to that department, sci-fi books.
Yeah, so currently I'm reading the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. We talked about that last week. I'm about halfway done with that book. It's about 480 pages. I'm anticipating I'll be finished with that probably by the end of April. I'm a little bit more deliberate when it comes to my reading. I don't like to speed through it. I know some people like to speed read and get on with it. I take my time with it. My schedule as well, I take my time. So I try to get a book a month, right? So that's the current book I'm reading. It's been fantastic. Still going to recommend that for those who want to jump into the sci-fi genre. Now, I did talk about the Red Rising trilogy series a couple of episodes back. And Red Rising is a trilogy by Pierce Brown. The first book is called Red Rising. It's a great book. I talked about it extensively. It's kind of one of those space operas, kind of in the vein of a Star Wars, maybe a Star Trek, but futuristic, political intrigue, war, etc. Right? This is the second book of that series. This one is called Golden Sun. So I have it right here. It's part 2 of the trilogy, and it follows the lead character Darrow and his quest to uplift his people who are of the lower class. And pretty much he's trying to fight the elites of this current world. And there's a lot happening in this book. The battle scenes are great. The dialogue is intense. It's funny at times. I would recommend the Red Rising trilogy series by Pierce Brown. And the second book, as I mentioned, called Golden Sun, for those of you who want to jump into what they call a space opera, like Star Wars and Star Trek are considered space operas. That's kind of the genre of that style. I would consider it if you're into that. So Golden Sun, that's a book that I read last year, and it was fantastic.
Rudy, it feels like James just classed up the segment here. He just classed it up, man.
He did. He did. Like you said, I was comics. I'm over here reading Kingdom Come and everything like that. So I mean, that's me.
You want to hear something funny? So the first time we did this with James when he did a book, I volunteered. I go, well, I'm reading something. it's a big compendium of comic books of Transformers. Does that count? Technically, it's reading.
That counts.
That counts. Yeah,
That's pretty impressive too, because that compendium was, I mean, pretty thick from what I saw. I was like,
telephone
wow.
book. It's like
every single Transformers comic
in one shot. Yeah,
that's insane. Yeah,
but I'm gonna get a little nerdy with Rudy right now. James, please feel free to dive in.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, the trailer for Street Fighter, the final trailer came out yesterday. First of all, I am glad they are diving into just the campiness, the funniness of it. They're not taking themselves seriously. And that's exactly what this kind of movie needs. I want to start it off with this. Rudy, James, please feel free to say yes, you saw it. But Rudy, did I see what I think I saw? They're going to bring to life the legendary, iconic Mount Rushmore of anime fights, Vega versus Chun-Li. In the final trailer, they show glimpses of their fight, and it mirrors the anime fight that is considered one of the greatest fights in anime of all time. Rudy, please tell me they're going to give that to us.
They are. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt we're going to get that fight. Just seeing it on the trailer, I think they did a fantastic job. They got the anime right. They got all that right with Chun-Li and Vega. They also got the video game right. I mean, you and I have always complained about, well, you're making a 80s cartoon into a movie. You're doing this. How hard is it to get it right? I mean, it's right there in front of you, but they're actually doing it with Street Fighter. I mean, everything's just basically game accurate. I love it, man.
It is.
All the way down to the moves. You have Zangief and his pile driver.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got everything down, even to Akuma. It's like, holy cow. The only complaint I have, Jeff, the only small complaint is I don't know about Blanca still. I saw,
they showed him at the end. They showed him
a quick glimpse of him at the end.
I got a glimpse of Blanca, but I'm like, oh God, Blanca was a key figure for a lot of people. When you pump those quarters in the game, you know, for me, it was Ken or Ryu. But I like to play with Blanca as well. And I don't know if they're going to give Blanca that menacing, you know, beast type of, you know, that we're looking for in a movie. So that's the only complaint I have. I mean, everybody else is just fantastic, man. I'm excited for that. Mortal Kombat 2 coming out. That one looks superb, man. I mean, this is finally the year that the 80s child of me just finally burst out and says, I'm ready for this 80s and 90s kid here.
Well, get this, James. Get this. I mean, it's a phenomenal time to be a nerd right now because you're just a Street Fighter, right? That movie's coming out. You got Masters of the Universe coming out. You got Maul that's already out. You got the final season of The Boys out. You got Daredevil in full swing right now. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, it is a Mortal Kombat. Rudy, you mentioned it. That movie is coming out soon. It is just nerd heaven right now.
So I did see the trailer, and of course, to add into the Street Fighter, right? Played Street Fighter when I was a kid. Of course, some of my friends would get mad at me when I would use Zangief because I would just kind of spam. I would spam that tornado move that he would do, and everybody would get pissed off at me, and they'd be like, "You can't be doing that. You're nothing but a button masher." I mean, I would win, but you know, I guess it was unethical, as some might say. Yeah. But for the Street Fighter thing, you know, I'm a big wrestling fan, so I'm gonna be nerding out this weekend with WrestleMania, which is happening Saturday and Sunday. Yes. And of course, two of the biggest superstars in the WWE are in the Street Fighter movie in Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. So I'm very curious to see how they are going to perform in this movie. I mean, Cody Rhodes, he looks great as his character,
just like Captain Guile. Yeah.
I mean, he looks like to a T, and he had a speaking line or two in this latest trailer. So I was kind of like, okay, that was cool. And then they showed Akuma, briefly, right? And Roman Reigns, they showed him, and I was kind of like, man, I wonder how those two are going to portray those characters right there. So excited for Street Fighter and excited for WrestleMania this weekend, no doubt.
Yeah. You mentioned it right now, Rudy, how you're worried about Blanca. You know, he's supposed to be this massive beast, just muscled up and everything. They actually modeled that after James. That's really James was the mold for Blanca's physique. Is that true, James?
Oh gosh. Oh, I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny if they talk to me about that. I got to keep that on their wraps until the movie comes out.
They're like, James, we need a body scan you because we need a rippled, muscled.
Yeah, motion
beast.
capture for sure. They came all the way down to Corpus and put on that suit, and
yeah,
we went to work, man.
I heard they used Rudy for a piston Honda. I'm just guessing what
Edmund Honda. Yeah.
It looks like a fun movie though, and y'all guys are right. It does hit on the campiness and the colorfulness of what the Street Fighter world is. And some people might complain, oh man, it's too much like a cartoon, it's too much like a comic or the game. Well, I mean, yeah, it's about time they make it look like that. To me, if you take the video game and you make it too real, it takes away the fun of what we knew as kids playing the game. I want it to feel like I'm watching a video game right in front of us. I think they're going to do a good job. I'm anxiously awaiting that.
Me too. Yeah. If what the trailer gave us a sneak peek, if they bring to life again that everybody seriously go on YouTube, just put Vega versus Chun-Li. Watch the American version of it. The original version is low. The music just amps it up to a whole other level. Yeah. Go watch that. That fight is considered one of the greatest fights in anime history, and it looks like they're bringing it to the screen, and I hope they do, because that fight, you can watch it on repeat and repeat. It is that good. So I'm excited for that. I know Rudy's excited for Cammy, James. You know why, James?
We have to keep this a children's show, Jay. I mean, we can't go that far off the rails here.
Yeah, you're right. There's your nerd segment right here on this very special edition Roundtable previewing Spurs Blazers game 1 and beyond. But again, we've been talking this whole time. We got to hear from you. What do you think about the series? Game 1. Are you worried? Are you feeling good? You calling sweep? You calling 7 games? Let us know. James is on X at Sir Edward James. James, while we're having you, just brag about what you got going over there at the Sports Rush.
Yeah, so I always appreciate your time, Jeff, and thanks for having me on your platform, of course. I have a Sunday morning radio show here in Corpus. It's on News Talk KEYS, 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. We are the Sunday Sports Rush. Been around for a few years already, and this weekend's going to be playoff intensive. So, I mean, the Spurs game's on Sunday night. We're going to break down the Spurs and Blazers game as well, give our spin on things as we do on the Sports Rush, and then we'll also recap the Saturday basketball games and preview some of the other playoff games that we have going on. Baseball, football, draft coming up. We'll hit on some Cowboys topics. So we try to keep it Texas. We try to talk a lot of the Texas teams, and then also talk some national and give our perspective on that. So Sunday Sports Rush of course, Sunday morning, 9 a.m. on News Talk KEYS, 1440 AM and 98.7 FM here in Corpus Christi.
Follow him on X at Sir Edward James. Do that right now. James, thank you for your time. We appreciate you as always. Rudy, what you got cooking at the answer?
Yeah, so Sports Answer, actually later on today, Derek Gervin and myself are going to be back in studio over at 9:30 a.m. Catch us on their YouTube page. We're going to be live. It's Answer Now TV. It's going to be the Friday Drive. You're going to be myself, Derek Gervin. We're going to be breaking down all the NBA playoff games. Of course, we'll get into some Spurs talk. Derek, we like to hit on other topics as well. But then you can also catch Sports Answer every single Sunday morning on Answer Now TV. You can catch me on Spurs in Focus. And don't forget, Spurs in Focus is available on Answer Now TV. So you can catch Jeff Garcia on there as well. Quick shout out to James. Does a fantastic job with his radio show. I've listened to it for a long time. So it's a great show. So definitely go give him a follow. I got something cooking, Jeff. I don't know if I can show it to you guys now, but one of the topics we're discussing is Nikola Jokic and the whole MVP talk. But pretty cool graphic, if you can imagine Nikola Jokic in the Killing Joke comic cover.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's kind of I'm gonna save it for tomorrow, unless you guys want to save it now.
It's cool. You can save it.
Yeah, just save it. Just save it.
Yeah, we got a lot of time.
And don't cut yourself short, Rudy. You're the answer. You guys are doing a bang up job too, as well. All right. So you guys keep on cooking, man.
Just not on X.
Oh yeah. Or you want to? If you want to see Rudy get cooked right now, just follow him on X right now at the Sports Answer right now. Yeah, he accepts the heat, but just be ready for it to be back.
And one quick thing, Rudy, I've always been an admirer of your work. I always see you grinding out there. I always see you doing your thing. So dude, keep it up, man. Keep it up. I respect the hustle and I respect what you do.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
As the comments are coming in now saying, y'all three get a room. That's what I'm saying now.
And game recognizes game, man.
There you go. There you go. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you as always. And everybody else, I thank you for making Spurs in Focus your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. Don't go anywhere else. This is the only spot. Your first listen each and every day should be Spurs in Focus on YouTube, iTunes, Pocket Cast, YouTube Music. What else I got? Yeah, Amazon Podcast. It is everywhere. Don't forget about the Substack Spurs in Focus. Completely free. Why? Because James and Rudy are buying subscriptions. Hit subscribe. The bill goes to them. Do that right now. I would appreciate that. Maybe we'll be we will be back on Monday for sure. Yeah, I forgot it's a late game on Sunday, so I got responsibilities, adulting everybody. But we'll be back on Monday to react to game 1, and hopefully it's a win. I'm pretty sure it will be. So for Mr. James Espinosa and Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia, and now you're in focus with Spurs in Focus.